today, guys, we're going to talk about Elisa Lam. This story is so interesting and intriguing that it hit headlines and we want to talk about.
Basically, it's about a girl, I believe she was 21 years old. She wanted to start traveling the world. She was young, so she kind of wanted to see everything. And she started off with a trip to LA. Background story, she she never really went anywhere, so that's why she kind of wanted to go travel. But she did have some kind of a mental disorder, so her parents didn't allow her to leave the home alone, and that's why she really didn't get to go anywhere and travel or anything, and they finally let her. So she decided to go to LA, and she decided to get a room at the Cecil Hotel, which was a cheaper hotel right next to like downtown LA. Apparently you can go ahead and stay there, and it was kind of like a hostel where you can rent rooms, but they were like bunks. So you would stay with a bunch of different other people, and that's why it was so cheap. And she ended up staying there. Long story short, she stood there for, I believe it was 4 days. And after the 4th day, she ended up being missing. And then they tried to look for her. Detectives looked at video footage. They did see her on an elevator, which we'll get into a little bit later. And after that, they kind of dug more into it. They never saw her leave the hotel. So they're like, well, I mean, she has to be in this hotel somewhere. So they kept looking and looking. And finally, the hotel started getting complaints of their water system, like being a funky color. And like when people would go and brush their teeth, it would taste funny and things like that. So finally, they went ahead and had their maintenance man look up on the roof in their water tanks, and there was Elisa Lam floating in one of the water tanks. And that was the reason why all of the water was murky and nasty tasting and everything, which is disgusting, I know. But it's a sad story, you know, it's a sad ending to this missing case. But there's been a lot of theories because of the 1 4-minute video that was all over the world.
Oh, yes. Well, they did capture her on an elevator, pressing all these buttons. And, you know, for her to be in this hotel that was known for hauntings and ghost attacks, it just makes it so much more mysterious.
Exactly. The Cecil Hotel is known for, it was pretty swanky back in the 20s when it was first built. Like, you know, who's who would always stay there. And then the Depression hit, and that's when they had, you know, people stay there at monthly rates. Like they were actually renting that room to live in. And that's when it kind of went downhill. And the Cecil Hotel is right next to Skid Row, which is like a really bad area in LA. And, you know, people were just staying there, living there. They would have murders almost every day there. Even the manager in the one documentary that I saw said that in the 10 years, was it 10 years? I believe she said 10 years that she was there, there was countless deaths. And that when she first started there, they gave her a tour, and the manager that was showing her around was telling her, someone died in that room, someone died in this room. And she ended up saying, is there a room in this place that no one's died in? You know, as a joke. Wow. But that's how many people, she said, died in that hotel. So it did already have the bad energy.
Yeah.
Also, the serial killer, I believe known as the Night Stalker, stood in that hotel as well. So it does have a very dark history, and I can imagine very dark energy to it too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you can imagine. Yeah, Richard Ramirez was in there living, and also Jack, the serial killer from Vienna. So yeah, there was 2 in there. You know, I'm wondering, why did it have to happen in this particular hotel? Why? You know, there's people, tourists have had complaints that they were attacked by ghosts or paranormal activity. And I searched the web to learn more about this, of course. And there's all these different kind of videos out, people that are knocking the paranormal. You know, they're saying, oh, get that paranormal out of here. The last video I watched was from a med student, and he's going to learn a lot when he gets into the hospital, you know, because he's going to be surrounded by doctors, nurses, all of that, who believe in the supernatural. They've seen miracles happen that are not scientifically explained. Also, if he knew what the word paranormal means, para means beyond, past. So we know that this is beyond past normal. This is a paranormal event. Now, if he wants to talk about supernatural, then yeah, that's a different story.
Right.
But yeah, this is definitely paranormal. It really bothers me that a guest had access to the water tank. I mean, you have sadistic people coming in and out of this hotel, and then they can have access to the water tank. That's insane. I mean, she didn't have a map of the place, didn't have a key. But that also makes it seem like it was paranormal. Like, I am not ruling out paranormal. She could have.
I mean, I'm not either. I definitely think that there was some kind of energy that surrounded her, obviously, that night, whatever happened. But from the documentary that I did see, she did have bipolar disorder, I believe it was. And for some reason, she stopped taking her medicine while she was there. So, I mean, like, why would a healthy 21-year-old woman who was obviously trying to get better in some ways stop taking their medicine, especially when they're by themselves on a trip, just traveling and, you know, just being a tourist in LA? Why would that happen? The whole elevator scene is the thing that took this mystery to a different level, because it was so odd, and there were so many theories too. Did you hear about the elevator game theory?
I heard about some kind of South Korean ritual.
Yeah, so I pulled it up. So if you don't mind, I want our listeners to know exactly what it was. It originated from South Korea, and basically what you would do is, in order to start playing the game, you would go into an elevator in a building that had at least 10 floors, okay? So you would press the 4th floor, and then press the 2nd floor, and then the 6th floor, and then back to the 2nd floor, and then press the 10th floor, which is another theory people were saying, because in the video you can see her pressing all these buttons. So that's why they think that she was playing this game.
Yikes.
And then after you press the 5th floor, you don't proceed, the doors are open, and apparently you're supposed to see a woman come in the elevator. You're not supposed to talk to her, you're not supposed to look at her, you're supposed to just, like, you know, ignore her. And then you're supposed to press the 1st floor again, and then if someone enters the elevator, then you have to leave. And if no one enters the elevator, then you would have to press the 10th floor. And when you get to the 10th floor, I believe that's like an omen to, like, the other world. So you have to press all these floors. You have to press the 5th floor. If a woman comes in, you can't talk to her. And then you press the 10th floor. And if you get to the 10th floor, then that's when you enter the other world. Isn't that crazy?
How in the world does someone explain, if she's delusional and she's going through all of this, how does someone explain that she would know to press all those in the exact order? It's crazy.
The theories are boundless. People come up with the craziest stuff.
It's just it's incredible. It's really an incredible story. And they also said that it also mimicked the movie Dark Water, the 2002 movie.
I heard about that. I don't know if I've seen the movie. I don't think I have, but I did see in the documentary that I watched that it was like eerily the same. Like even the little girl in the movie dressed like her and then drowned in a water tank on top of a apartment building or a hotel or whatever.
You know, I just felt way more unsatisfied after I watched the
Yeah.
documentary. And how in the world did she get into an area that was locked? I know they said she used, they believe she used a fire escape, but still,
Yeah.
how do you get into a locked area? The firefighters, they had to make a hole just to get to her. There's just so many questions surrounding this story.
I know.
It's crazy too how people try to explain it and really try to knock the paranormal out of it. And I'm thinking, okay, so you're through all these videos I hear, I think there's possibilities. It could have been this, could have been that. They say they're confused about this part. Okay, if you don't have a solid foundation, then how can you dismiss anything, really?
That goes for like everything pretty much paranormal. Um, I think the people that are scared or unwilling to open their mind up to the possibility, try to explain it away. You know, it's the wind, or it's a house settling, or that's not a voice in my house, that's my neighbors, or something crazy. They always try to explain it away with some type of logic that they know is like true. So I don't know. I think it's the same for this case too. Like just looking at that footage, like the elevator footage, there was something going on with her. And I don't think it's a coincidence that it was at the Cecil Hotel where so many bad things happen, so many bad energies are. Do you think it's a coincidence?
I can't rule out the paranormal in this. I really can't, and I won't rule it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Some
definitely
people
will
say
not.
that she had a bipolar episode and was feeling manic, and that's why she was looking, you know, left and right in that video and was trying to hide from someone. So she went to the water tank and drowned. That's what some people are saying. And that would be so sad if that were true. But in the 21 years that she was living, she never had an attack like that. But it happened in LA at the Cecil Hotel.
There you go. There you go. And then and she never harmed herself in the past. She didn't have a history of harming herself. Yeah, I would love to investigate that hotel. And you know what's also disturbing, Maggie? It's so disturbing that the hotel management did not let the future guests know after her death not to use, well, after they found her in the water tank, they did not let the guests after that know not to use the water.
They didn't?
Don't drink it. No, this one guest said he found out from the news. He was watching TV and
Oh my
checked out
God.
so fast. He's like, oh heck no. He checked out and went to a different hotel nearby.
That's so gross.
Yeah, like what is going on in that hotel?
Did you hear about the off the wall theory about the tuberculosis? I forgot what they called it, but she was like a tester for a certain tuberculosis vaccine. Was it a vaccine? It was something. And they're testing, like, I guess you can say, like, their little specimen was called what was it called? Lamb Elisa or something.
I did not hear about that.
There was a theory that she was I forgot what they called it, but she was the person that they picked to go to the Cecil Hotel so she can infect Skid Row with tuberculosis and take them out. So there would be less people in Skid Row. This is just a theory that people were making up, that she was infected with tuberculosis and she was like this testing person or whatever. And she would go and like infect all of Skid Row, wipe them out, and then like come back or something. And they're testing, like, this is actual, like, proven that there's a tuberculosis thing called Lam Elisa or something like that. Her name, but like switched around.
Yeah, from history, I'm not ruling anything out.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's
Never
a
know.
coincidence, but
You just never know.
claiming that she went up the fire escape. I don't
And
know.
that would have led her to the top of the water tank.
That's what they're saying. But there's nothing but like it would be like a traditional like fire escape with the like the zigzag staircases all the way up the building, and then to get to the roof it was just like one metal ladder all the way up. So
Mhm.
if she was having these like panic attacks or manic moments, I don't think she would have had the ability to climb those stairs.
Yeah, and just like we
Oh,
talked about earlier, for her to press all those buttons in accordance with the South Korean ritual.
right, with the elevator game. So
Mm,
there's so many theories going on around this, but I think it all comes back to that 4-minute video that people thought was so strange, and it is.
mhm,
It's so strange,
mhm.
but I think that's what caught a lot of people's attention. And what's funny is that when you mention the paranormal, people are like, "Oh, I don't believe in that." But look how much attention it's brought from that 4-minute video because it is so
Right,
strange, because
right.
it has some paranormal concept to it.
Definitely, definitely. So we're not ruling out the paranormal, going further, the supernatural. If any one of these theories were true, this certainly is an unusual, far from normal event. The very reason it gains so much attention. I personally do not think anyone would go so far as to edit a tape when they can simply say the camera wasn't working or other. Her odd behavior did not prove she was being chased, but she did mimic something that was not of this world.
Yeah, I think that something definitely triggered something that was already an underlining case that she had mentally. Um, or else, you know, why would it happen at that hotel that had so many bad things happen, so many bad energies and everything, you know? I think something triggered her while she was there.